Okay, so a lot of people have been asking me how I create my maps. Now, rather than show you how I create my maps, I thought you might enjoy seeing how you can create your maps, because my method probably won't work for most of you. So first thing you're going to need is some data. Today we'll be getting our data from our very own GPS. Now, this is based on tracks that I have personally collected, so we know there's no copyright issues. Other places some people like to get data from, there's government data sources, which is where I get my topo map data from that you can see here. You can also get data from, a lot of people like to trace things on Google Earth to get some information. How legal that is, I'm not sure. But getting it from your GPS is certainly a legal way to do it. So I've got my GPS plugged in. I can go transfer, receive from device, select to download tracks, make sure your GPS is listed here, hit receive. So it'll take a little while to download all the information. If you're like me, you've got a lot of tracks in your GPS that are probably not what you want to be creating your maps of. Today I'm going to be creating maps of the route involved for the Cochrane Area Humane Society's mutt strut. So here we have Cochrane on the screen, and if you see here, coming along the river here and down, we see a track going all the way down here, and then it heads all the way back again. Now that is the route for the mutt strut. The rest, as far as we're concerned for now, is just noise. So if we double click on that track, we can see it's called Active Log 104. So everything other than Active Log 104 we can delete. Don't worry, this won't delete it out of your GPS if you want to come back to it later. So hang on one second. Select everything with a shift click, delete. Let's see what Active Log 105 is. It's always a good idea to check a little bit afterwards as well to make sure that you're not missing anything. So that one looks like just some more noise. Maybe it was part of my trip on the way back. You can see the date there corresponds to the day that the event was, so we can delete that. Can delete actually all of these here. So now we have kind of a rough track here that corresponds to the route of the mutt strut. So we can save this file, save as, and probably best format to save it as is a GPS exchange format. So let's save that. We'll stick it on our desktop, call it mutt strut, and save it. Now, what we need to do is figure out a way to get this onto the GPS as a map. Now, the advantage of having it as a map, in case you're not aware, is that there is no, you're only limited based on the amount of memory that's in your GPS as far as how much data you can transfer. Track logs are often limited by the 1,000 track points, which you run out of pretty quick if you save a lot of tracks. So what we'll need is a program called GPS Map Edit. That's available on www.geopainting.com. So if you select download the latest version, click on the download link and hit save, it will download the zipped version of this map, of this program. Okay, so then you unzip it. You'll note I've actually already unzipped it here. Open that up, open up the program, and now we need to go add, file add, find that file. We've got muttstrut.gpx, add that, open. So you'll see here, here's our ugly looking track log. Okay, that's fairly roughly what we want. Now, if we were feeling really lazier, this was a really nice looking track log, we could convert it directly to something which can be viewed on the GPS by just clicking on it, right click and go convert to polyline. And then what you have to do is tell the GPS basically how you want it to render it on the map. You've got all kinds of options depending on what it is. In this case, the best thing to call it is a walkway/trail. Okay, so if we click on that, hit OK, and now what you'll notice is we can now edit the nodes on there and do what we like with it. But we don't need to. What I'd actually rather do than that is retrace the line. So create a new polyline. And the reason we're doing this is just so that the track is a little bit neater, because you never walk these tracks perfectly. There's always a little bit of noise, so it's normally a good idea to retrace your trails before you convert it to a final map. Okay, so this should more or less do this. When you're done, just right click and do end. Now it'll ask us what we want to call it. I'm actually going to call it a stream for now. Not that it is a stream, but and then give it a label: Mutt Strut Route. Okay. The reason I called it a stream is I'm going to now delete everything else on this map, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't delete the line I just traced. So now that we've got it, let's turn it back into a trail. So you right click, go to properties, turn it into a walkway/trail. So now we have our nice little route there. Now what we're going to want to do is edit the map properties. This defines somewhat how the map is going to behave in the GPS. Now each individual map sheet needs a map set number. I'm just going to stick in a random number here. You might want to come up with some kind of numbering system that makes sense to you. Friendly name of the map, let's call it Mutt Strut Route. Leave the copyright information blank. Elevation units really only applies if you've got contours in there. Code pages can be important if you're looking at including accented characters and things like that. So levels. Now this here is quite important. It defines at what level things get displayed. So we can insert a level. Here we've got just the default level information. So level 0 is the most detailed. What you'll notice, you see 24 bits are used for the most detailed, and fewer bits are used for less detailed. That basically defines how many bits are used to represent each coordinate. The higher the number of bits, the more accurately you can represent the coordinates. You see here that with 24 bits, we can represent things accurate to 2.4 meters. Now if we change that, we can, actually that's as detailed as we can get it. Okay, and that should be fine. This level 1 is basically at what point will what's on level 0 disappear, and you can have other things that will appear on level 1. If we look at CGPS Mapper, we've got this is all things which define basically some of the internal workings of how the GPS will render the data. You can play around with these a little bit and find something that works for you. Now, key here that we need to change is map is transparent. So we go map, transparent map without background object. Okay. Now what that will do is it will allow us, when we send this map to the GPS, it will allow us to overlay that map on top of any non-transparent map. So this would be like your Metro Guide or your City Navigator or something like that. Okay, now you can look at bounds. We can see the minimum maximums. We can see some statistics for the map. That's all normal type information.